This is a photograph that I took and made in around 1960 sometime. The photograph now, a copy of it belongs to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. And it was on exhibit, and it is in several of their publications. And the reason I made this photograph the way it is that I was on a boat ride with the farmers, had their annual picnic, and I was taking pictures for the local Republican Party, but I also took some photographs of myself. And one of the ones I took is this one here of the people, the young people around the table. So when I got home to print it, I decided that I started printing the picture of just the one with the young people on the table. And then I saw this man's face over here in the part of the frame that's cut off. This is where the film ended. See, the film ended there. And I thought, wow, that's too bad, he cut his face off. I might have wanted to print his picture too. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to cut him off. So I printed just the two pictures without the sprocket holes. Oh, by the way, how I did it was this. I was in my own dark room, and I removed the negative from the negative holder, which limited to just the frames of the picture. So I put it between two pieces of glass. That way I was able to get the entire film. So I printed the two pictures without the sprocket holes, and I didn't like it. So you know what, I'm going to include the sprocket holes. So I did. And then when I brought a bunch of pictures into the museum one time, just for them to look at, they bought this one and two others. Now this one is part of their permanent collection, and the other two photographs are part of their study collection. But anyway, that's how it happened. And then shortly after that, while the photograph was on exhibit, I had done an industrial job for a large corporation, and I needed to make several hundred black and white 8x10s. And that was the days before copy machines and things like that. So I was not about to be in my darkroom making hundreds of those prints. And I usually sent them into a very well-known laboratory in New York called Compo. But instead of mailing it in, I decided to go in. So I got on a bus and rode into New York, and Compo was right by Penn Station. And I went in there talking to the manager, whom I knew. His name was Ernie. And we were chatting away, and then pretty soon a young, red-headed, bearded, hippie type of guy walked into the office, into the lab, with a camera around his neck, and he had some contact sheets, 35mm contact sheets in his hand. And so I stepped away and let him talk to Ernie. And I heard him talking to Ernie, and he said to Ernie, could you print these, they were baby portraits, what they were, could you print these pictures with the sprocket holes? And Ernie said, yeah, sure, whatever you want. So Ernie walked out of the room for something, and I went over to the guy, and I said, why do you want to print them with the sprocket holes? He said, oh, I just thought it'd be interesting. I said, yeah, but how come? And he looked at me with his eyes wide open and his jaw dropped. He said, did you see that picture in the Museum of Modern Art? I said, yes, it's mine. So he just grabbed my hand and on and on. So anyway, and then another part of, well, I had, my photographs were on exhibit in the county library in 97 and 98, 1997, 98. And I was going to take it down on a particular day, and I got a belated Christmas card from a friend who said, we're going to go see your show tonight. And I was going to take it down that day. And so I called her up and I said, you going to see the show tonight? She said, yeah, we're going to go. So I said, okay, I was going to take it down, but I'll leave it up. So the next day I called her. I said, did you see the show? She said, oh, yeah, yeah. And my boss's picture is in the show. I said, really? Which one is that? And it was this guy with the cut-off face. Now, I kind of knew him slightly and met him. He was one of the directors in the county social services department. So I called him up, and I said, you know, there's a picture of you in she said, oh, I know, my wife and children, we went there the other day, we saw it. I said, well, you know what, I have a book with that photograph in it, I'd like to show it to you. And I said, Mirrors and Windows. And he said, oh, I have a copy of that. I said, really? How'd you get that? He says, well, 25 years ago, before we were married, we went to New York just to do a little sightseeing. We went to the Museum of Modern Art. And I was walking around, and there was that picture, and I said, that's me in that picture, and a whole crowd of people gathered around me. So and they went to the library, and they had the book Mirrors and Windows, and they bought it. So that's it.